Welcome back to another episode of Making It Look Easy, man. It's your boy Champagne Poppa, and today we got another heavy hitter on the show today. Out of Washington, D.C., but affiliated with Philly. Heavy hitter behind the scenes, working with all your favorite athletes, especially the hottest. We might have to redo that, bro. Hold on.
No problem, man.
Hold on, I don't like that. I don't like that. I wanna bring you in
man, I
like
like the perfectionist, man. I like the perfectionist. I like this.
Yeah.
But I said, man, like we said, conversation, man. Like I said, we just make it natural.
Bro, we about to have a real good conversation, fam. About to have a real good conversation. Y'all, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Making It Look Easy. It's your boy Champagne Poppa. I got one of the best in the business. We talking behind the scenes, working with all your favorite athletes, working with one of the top dogs in the game right now in the sport of boxing. We about to get into it, y'all. Nilo.
What's going on,
What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Denzel, appreciate you for having me on the show, man. I appreciate you.
Now, I appreciate you for joining for real. Like, I really do. I really do. I like to talk boxing. We like to talk about boxing on the channel, so we want to get deep in, you behind the scenes, so you're going to be able to break this thing down to us how we need to, how we need to hear it. For sure, man. So, shit, how you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Another day, man. We woke up, man. I can't complain, man. Another opportunity to talk boxing, the sport we all love. Boxing, like you said, kind of we spoke briefly earlier before on cameras, barbershop conversation. So, boxing conversation can lead you anywhere.
For sure. You in D.C. or you in Philly?
I'm in D.C., yep. I'm in D.C. Philly's second home for sure, though, but I'm Washington, D.C., born and raised.
Okay. So, because I was going to ask you, bro, how is it growing up? You say you born in Philly. You say you born in D.C., born and raised, right?
Yep.
But was you ever like down in Philly?
Yeah, man, my mom took me all the time. So me and Boots are cousins. So I was a little kid. I'm about 3 or 4 years older than Boots, but I remember watching his older brothers. They come to the grandma's house when I'm over there, just seeing all their pictures and flyers in the early 2000s. It was something that was very motivational for sure. So it's just a blessing down the line years later. Baby brother, Boots, one of the biggest boxers in the world now. So it was always a blessing, man.
But before all that though, how was it coming up in that area and I'm speaking on Philly, when you got like B-Hop, you got Gilly, you got Meek, you got Tierra Whack, you got Kevin Hart, you got Joe Frazier, you got Danny Garcia, you got all these greats. How was it being from that area, being amongst that area at a time where y'all trying to come up and make a name for yourself?
Man, so like I said, I can speak more so secondhand because like I said, I'm more so a little cousin just coming up there. So at the time, I'm not fully even understanding, like you said, everything that now I'm able to process and understand what's going on. Like you said, man, shout out to the OG Bozy, man. Bozy has been in the game for a long time, over 40 years in the boxing game, especially. You can't talk to anybody in Philly about the boxing game without mentioning Boots Ennis, man. That's one of the four founders. Just laid the footprints before everybody else. So, like you said, it was a lot, man. It was a lot. I say, well, with a family that's part of Philadelphia, like royalty in boxing, it's definitely a blessing because, like you said, you're able to go in different gyms, you're able to meet different people. It's a lot different if you coming as Joe Smo, don't nobody know you, but you coming with that family background and family name. So. Philly's a dog-eat-dog world in that gym, so it's their culture in boxing is second to no other.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. So I actually found out about Boots Ennis before I even heard of Boots, because that Ennis pedigree is there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
The world know Boots, but. First time I heard was actually the first time I even seen him. It was the father. He was sparring in the gym.
Man, it might have been a viral clip.
2 years ago.
Yeah, it was a viral clip.
He was popping and doing talking shit.
And look, man, Bozy, man, late 60s, but you couldn't tell by the shape he's in, man. He's in better shape than a lot of us younger guys, man. So
yeah.
Bozy eats sleep boxing. So man, that's one thing that's not a joke. It's not something they do just for the camera. That's 24/7. That's their life. It's a lifestyle for them.
You can tell. you can tell. I mean, if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Like me coming from the South, it came up. I would say it was tough love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sure when them cameras ain't on, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that kind of love where a lot of people don't fully understand.
Man, I'll say, like I said, I'm a lot younger than Boots' older brothers, Pooh and Farah, but just from even hearing stories of their relationship with Bozy was a lot different back then. Like you said, it becomes a lot different through time and understanding and trials and tribulations. But you said that tough love, tough love, we don't always understand it, but in the long run, you see, the tough love is needed a lot of times.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, like I said, bro, like, the world not gonna understand it, but they see the results though of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
You see
Like,
the hard work that's put
we
in.
can take that shit. Yeah, bro, we could take that shit back to many athletes and even entertainers. You know what I'm saying? They not understanding
The
what that tough love.
The industry is a tough game, so I always tell people you gotta have thick skin. So like you said, if you easily offended, easily let your emotions get the best of you, man, it's a tough game, especially in boxing. It's not a soft sport, so let alone, talking to a lot of people in the boxing game, they may not talk to you very softly either. So you kind of, like you said, you got to be prepared for that tough love. It could be just the way you in the gym. So it's a lot of testosterone. It's a lot of guys in there fighting. You're risking your life every time you lace up them gloves. So it's a different atmosphere and a different environment than a lot of used to.
I agree. How did you get into the entertainment industry? Because you just not in the sport of boxing. You in multiple industries.
So
I
started trying to be a musician like most. A lot of my friends were cameramen for a lot of, famous artists. My best friend's managed Sunny Digital. So I had a network of a lot of people I was around since a young guy, since, 18, 19. I just always in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people and just, networking, befriending people who were doing positive things. So started with music, then did some songwriting. Actually, me and Boots kind of reconnecting as we got a little older. He going to turn pro. I'm still kind of ending off of my music career, kind of. We just sharing a lot of ideas of our experiences. I'm traveling with my friends on tour. Boots is, just finishing up the Olympic, trials and everything. So kind of just came back and connected at the right time. And we just asking each other kind of marketing questions. And man, who does interviews for you? Hey, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? We both learning the internet as young guys. So kind of came into that way. And that's how the boxing came back. But I've always been around music and sports since a little kid. I've been performing music when I was like 12, 13 years old in D.C. at, Georgia Avenue Day. One of our cousins, I got the Texas Rangers gear on right now. One of our cousins, third base coach with Tony Beasley for the Texas Rangers. I used to be on the road with him as a little kid, so me and him kind of laugh at it now. I never really realized he was a minor league coach a lot of times as a manager at the time, but my mom is sending me with him summer, spring break just so I can get the learning experience. And I'm not even thinking about how much that helped mold me now to the person I am, but a lot of that was my first experiences being on the road. People with, professionals, I'll say at that point, I won't call them celebrities, but professionals, people signing autographs. I'm able to see behind the scenes. So a lot of learning experiences I had early on in life that I didn't fully understand or appreciate till I got a little older.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why, we had to have you on the show. I mean, for this show, I want to be able to dissect the sport of boxing because, I mean, you got a lot of people out there covering boxing as we speak. You got Showbiz, you got Blue Blood, you got
Shout out Blue
Fanon,
Blood,
the
all
list
those
goes
guys.
on. Everybody that's covering the sport, but ain't nobody really showing like real love to behind the scenes. And then on top of that, you got some upcoming. You got the trainers, and you got some upcoming prospects, and a lot of things go on behind the scenes that people don't really know about.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and I think it's important for, what I'm saying, for us to like understand that part of the game, because boxing don't really got no lead.
Like you said, behind the scenes and the fans, like you said, the fans are who are clamoring and, calling for these fights, but like I said, they don't always understand, the process and the steps it takes to make these fights. Like you said, the money that goes into putting these big events together, a lot of times people just call, man, I want to see this guy versus this guy. Man, where you get the money from, and of course, it's always to say you want something when it's not on your dime. So, it's just
yeah. I'm already knowing, bro. Being behind the scenes, how much pressure do you feel like is on you? Because now it's getting big,
Yeah.
you know, with the camp that you involved in and the athletes that you also you know, doing business with. How much pressure do you feel like is on you now?
Man, pressure bursts, either burst pipes or make diamonds. So, I say, we like to choose, make diamonds over here. But I'll say this, having a great team around you. So, like I said, it's not a one-man team. Boots Promotions, Boots' entire team in entirety is a great team. Like you said, I'm definitely not doing any of this alone. He has a whole staff of people working behind the scenes. So it's one, I'll say that makes it easier, takes the pressure off of it, and two, just having an athlete and a human like Boots to work with. Like I said, let alone being a cousin, but just as as a boss, as a CEO, it's you got somebody who could talk to you, down to earth. Boots doesn't act like a celebrity. Like he from fight 1, 2, 3, we have the same conversation to now fight 31, 32. Whether you got the IBF belt, that's the same exact guy. People can see that, if they look at YouTube and look at his Instagram and you see the young guys in the gym, how they interact with him. That's not the interaction of somebody who acts like a celebrity. That's not the interaction of somebody who's standoffish to the people that's around him. So his energy is very contagious and just his work ethic. So I always tell him, man, you work so hard in the gym, your team has to work just as hard outside the gym, to make everything make sense.
Yeah, bro. And it's looking like a fun experience for you all because he is unexperienced. I mean, he is hot right now. And I say that in the sense of the way he's beating everybody, bro. It's like, God damn, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. The only person that I see really giving him a difficult fight is T. Crawford.
Man, look, that's completely understandable. I always tell people, I mean,
That's the only.
People know I'm backing Boots 1,000,000%. We don't even talk about defeats. We don't talk about possibilities. He prepares for that. But I completely understand when people bring that up. That's a pound for pound guy in boxing right now. So for people to say that seems like the only guy that can beat you, that's not, no one takes offense to that from the team. Like that's just a challenge. It's an honor, honestly, to be competitive. He's accomplished what he's accomplished in the game. He's accomplished what he's accomplished. So it's like if you don't have somebody to push you and to try to, put you in the sport for, essentially, like you said, you don't want it to be easy. So it's definitely like when people say that, that's just more motivation to go, we want to make that fight happen in due time. And if he chooses to, do what he does and it doesn't happen, so be it, man. Let the best man win when they do fight, or if they do fight. But like you said, man, they don't have no bad blood. We don't really speak down on other fighters, but
for the record, though, I said that's the only fight I see giving him a challenge.
See, oh yeah, and that's the thing though. That's the thing with boxing. We always tell people like it's flattering just for people to say that with the pound for pound. Like you said, it's a pound for pound king right now. He's earned it. He's division after division.
And he ain't even fought like I would say one of the top guys. He ain't even fought one of the top. I'm telling you, based off the eye test, based off the skill set that I see.
Yeah.
Speaking from.
I tell people I was definitely shocked with the Errol Spence fight. Like I said, I was wrong. I'm one of those guys. I can admit it. I was going for EJ. Like I was picking Errol Spence. I just thought maybe the size might have been a little bit too much for him. Just the work rate of EJ. But I mean, hats off to Crawford and this team, man. That was a hell of a performance. Excellent execution on his part. So, okay, man, hats off to him.
Bro, I'm just such an unbiased boxing analyst. When it came to that fight, I was just looking at that like, hey man, we gonna see. I ain't putting no money up.
Yeah.
I paid for the fight, and I sat back and I chilled. When I saw he got dropped in the second round, I was more surprised at how the screen. Because I don't know if you watched it on TV. I watched it on TV.
I watched it on TV.
Yeah. When he got dropped, the screen was rattling.
Yeah, I don't think like it was so unexpected. I don't even think the cameraman like. It's like his emotions got the best level.
I was like, nah, he slipped. Like, nah,
like you said, that was one of those fights where I didn't put any money on that fight because, like you said, it was such an unpredictable match. I just love for the sport to be able to have matches like that, though. So,
hey, them jabs looked like they were stinging. But when you look at somebody like Boots, it's like, yo, his jabs And if you want to just go based off of the level of competition that he fought at, I think that's unfair because that's the same thing they were saying about T. Crawford.
Exactly. And
You know
I
what I'm
always tell
saying?
people you can only fight who's and who gets in front of you, who gets in that ring with you. So I always tell people all of these are pro fighters. So a lot of people say that and couldn't throw they couldn't throw a proper jab if you asked them to in the grocery store. So, a lot of people call guys cab drivers. I understand you want to see the best fight the best, but I'm of the notion of, I don't badmouth fighters, man. They all put the work in and the professionals to earn their right to get in the
None
ring.
of them. I don't badmouth none of them, fam.
They're willing to take that punch in the mouth where I know a lot of fans, they don't want to get punched in the mouth, let alone for 36 minutes.
Punched in the mouth, then get punched in the gut.
Man, like you said, all is like...
Get that rib cage hit right up in here.
Exactly. So I always hats off to all those guys, but like you said, we understand the fans. I'm just of the notion of, he said, I don't disrespect those guys because they put their all into it.
So I got another question for you, man. Hopefully this question right here won't get you in no type of trouble, bro.
Sure.
Tri-State or the Midwest, who produced the best boxers?
I gotta go Tri-State. Boots is out the Tri-State. The Boots Ennis, Pooh Ennis, Farah Ennis. That's a list.
You got the Mayweathers up there in the Tri-State.
So even with Floyd, I didn't know if we was giving Floyd that, or was Floyd been in Vegas for a long time. I know he still rep Michigan.
Nah, Floyd Midwest.
Exactly. I mean, the Midwest is definitely doing their thing. But like you said, you got Boots. You got a lot coming out the East. I say the East Coast. You even got Javante Davis.
Right.
If we do East Coast, I wouldn't even just say Tri-State. I'd just do maybe that little East Coast DMV to Tri-State or whatever, because I'm like, you still got like a Javante Davis. You got I don't even want to take it back to we take it to the old heads, B-Hop, Sugar Ray, all that. But I'll say that I think those are the top two leading in boxing in the Midwest, and I'll say the little East Coast Tri-State and DMV.
That's why I asked.
I'm gonna go East Coast though. I gotta go East Coast Tri-State all the way though. But I completely understand with Floyd. Like you said, I'm gonna say, we count Crawford Midwest. Oh yeah, I mean they are. How about to say it's like putting up that picture when you have the dream team of the old, and then you got the LeBron and them dream team. I always go. It's one of those you'd have to see it to happen to see who's the best. But I don't think you can go wrong with either answer. I completely understand the Midwest, but
yeah, and I asked that because the Midwest got the two GOATs.
Publicly, like you said, understand marketing. I can't get that on camera. You can't get that on me on camera.
Nah, man, shit. I gotta stir it up a little bit.
Look, you doing your job. Hey, look, you doing your job.
Just a little bit, man. Greg Hackett. Now, people look at Greg Hackett. When I say people, I'm talking about people in the comments.
I already know where it's going.
They look at his record. They look at his stable of fighters. Yet, he's still very well respected in the sport of boxing. Now, for the record, I respect him. I love talking boxing, barbershop talk with niggas that know boxing, has done boxing, and are unbiased in their approach. So for me, I like him. I'm giving him his flowers by asking you the question, what is it about him that he gets so much disrespect?
I think because Greg's blunt. He doesn't mind, sharing his honest opinion. Some people tiptoe. Greg's blunt. He's not gonna filter his opinion because of what you think his professional record is and what that means. If you look at a lot of the top trainers in boxing right now, look at their pro records. That doesn't mean they're not qualified to talk boxing or to train at all. That's the furthest thing from the truth. Look at Bomac's record. Bomac doesn't have a great record, but to say Bomac's not a great trainer is preposterous. Like that's crazy to say that. But I'm like, Greg Hackett is a great mind in boxing. That's why a lot of people gravitate to him, first of all, whether it's for controversy or whether it's support. Greg's been getting support on the YouTube. I can know, from YSM, he's getting. You can look at the comments. Greg's been getting support for the last 2-3 years easily, just with people, appreciating his boxing knowledge just his conversation in boxing. Then I always tell people, you think you could challenge Greg? There's a video out there of Greg outside the gym in Philly, bare knuckles. If, people like how they like to go his record, you go ahead and try Greg. I don't think you're going to like the outcome. I say it like that. So
I saw that clip.
He, like I said, and I always tell people, hey, if you're willing to get in there, that just shows. Greg's a guy who went there, I don't know if it was 10 rounds, 12 rounds with Jarrett Hurd. Now you look at just the stature of those two people, you wouldn't think Greg should be able to survive the distance with Jarrett Hurd at all. That's, what that shows you. Like, obviously he got some type of skill to be able to. Jarrett Hurd was a top contender fighting for championship. Like, you don't survive 12 rounds with him being no bum or whatever, people like to throw around. You just don't do that.
Yeah, nah, and I brought that question up because I definitely want to give him his flowers on this channel. I know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know. You don't have to, like, Muhammad Ali's coach.
People, like I said, if they realize most of the coaches didn't have undefeated records. That's how a lot of them turn into coaches. But they got great minds. Like, Jordan was one of the greatest player in basketball history ever. Doesn't mean Jordan's great behind, in front office or as a coach necessarily, but you can never deny what that man does in the ring, and vice versa to somebody who's not the greatest when there's their time to perform, but they could be the one that delivers the message, delivers the teaching just way better. A lot of great athletes don't know how to give the message because they're so great they expect others to be just like them.
Yeah, and all in all, I think just based off what I've seen and me being a collegiate athlete myself, I think that he is a great coach.
Yeah.
He's probably coaching the youth. That's what his role is. That's what he's supposed to be at. He probably not supposed to be training them like the world champion right now. But from what I see, he looks like he's a coach that can get through to somebody, especially maybe the youth out there in Philly that needs somebody that can understand.
Still fighting. So I always tell people it's not even like he's been a full-time coach without being still active as a fighter. Greg, I think, if I'm not mistaken, either earlier this year or 2023, within the last 12 months.
It was last year.
Yeah. Greg is full within the last 12 months. So always, it's different. If Greg had hung it up 20 years ago and they were like, he's never produced any type of talent, Greg's talent is still rising. Like, you said Greg's not 60 years old, 70 years old, where it's like Greg has plenty of years left in his boxing game to win titles with his fighters. People will be saying that, and Greg Hackett won Trainer of the Year, and years from now, they eat crow. But
I bring him up because I want to give him flowers on this channel. I know that lately he's been getting some heat, and I think it's for some sensitive reasons.
Man, look, and I think Greg don't.
Miss flowers, fuck all that.
I don't even want to speak for him, but I don't think none of this is ruffling feathers, man. Like I said, from Philly, man, it's tough skin, like you said. A lot of us, even just not even necessarily speaking on Philly, the urban city, if you can't grow with tough skin and a lot of environments we grew up in, man, you wouldn't survive. So a lot of the internet banter back and forth, we grown. A lot of us not really taking, personal, we're not taking no personal feelings towards any of this stuff. These people talking behind keyboards and cell phones.
I agree, man. Stand on Philly, bro. When we gonna see Steph back in the ring, man? We miss him.
Oh, man, Cool Boy is in the.
We miss him.
He's fighting on the Canelo undercard. Matter of fact, he'll be on a Canelo undercard.
Word?
Yeah, I think they have an opponent. I'm not sure of the name, but he definitely. I'm about to say, matter of fact, Steven Jackson and them just pulled up on him and Danny this week. So, they've been getting ready. They in training camp, getting ready for that Canelo undercard. So, it's definitely gonna be a Philly house in there as well for that Canelo Belanga undercard. With Danny and Cool Boy on the card.
Yo, bro, speaking of Philly, speaking of Danny Garcia, I don't think his pops, maybe outside of I'm talking about outside of Philly, bro, his pops don't get enough credit for how great of a trainer he is, fam.
Man, he doesn't.
And look, a casual can probably look at him and look at Teofimo's pops and get them confused.
Yeah.
But
and salute, I always say salute to both of those guys. One, they promote their sons, so I'm never mad at somebody promoting their sons. And then look what these guys have accomplished, especially like you said, Angel Garcia. Look what your sons have accomplished. Like you said, Danny from 140, 147, and he going to fight at 160 against large. So it's like you got to give those. And I'm always big on, man. This your son, like this family. This is family wealth that you create. Generational wealth. So I'm never
And
gonna
that's gonna
speak
be a
down on those
great fight.
guys.
That's
I'm
gonna be a
interested for
great
that.
fight.
I want to see how
I'm
Danny looks
more
at
excited
160.
about that fight than that Canelo and Berlanga. Now, I like Canelo, but I'm not liking his behavior over the past several fights. The niggas that he been picking is like, bro, that shit is not. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to we giving you the glory, my nigga, but like, come on, fam.
The fans are calling
Berlanga,
for the fans are calling for fights that that
bro.
aren't happening.
I'm not
So
dissing Berlanga at all. I'm not dissing him at all. But bro, like he ain't even fought like a world champion or none of it. Like he's green when it comes to this
and I
stage.
understand if from Belanga's perspective, hey, I'm gonna get the bag and I'm gonna take this opportunity because if I pull it off, hey, I done
Bro, I
upset the
want
whole
him to.
apple
No, no,
cart.
no,
So
no, no, no. Bro, I don't know about y'all, but I want him to because
man, may the
that's
best
what
man
we
win. But
think
like
here.
you said, I I would love it for the sport. It would be amazing for the sport. But like you said,
Yeah.
Canelo has earned. I may not like all the decisions, but he's earned. I feel like at this point to kind of make the decisions he's want to. So I understand it. It's a business too. I want to see
I
him versus Benavidez. I would love to see that. I'd love to see him against David Morrell. I'd love to see that. But you know,
David Morrell, bro, it's a
or Morrell versus Berlanga, that
bro.
would
He
have been
can
a
make
good fight.
he can make the decision of picking the fighter he wants, but my nigga, if the fans don't want to see that shit, then the fans don't want to
Yeah,
see that shit, bro. Like that's a slap in the face to the niggas that's buying it.
yeah. No, absolutely.
And,
I understand what you mean. Like I
and
said, because we want that. Like you said, the fans been asking for that Benavidez fight for some time. Like Benavidez
for
been
some
vocal.
time, then the
Benavidez
same
been
way
vocal. Like you said, he was a mandatory at one point. He said he had a
he
belt at
been
one
calling him a
point.
bitch and all kinds of shit.
And
He been calling him a bitch and all kinds of shit, fam. Like that's tough.
And I understand,
And
like I
you
said,
still,
I'm not gonna ever call him a duck or anything like that, but I understand. Benavidez, that's a big dude with some fast hands, man. That's a problem for a lot of them guys. But like you said,
I was at the
it'll be a
fight
great
when he
fight.
fought. Yeah, I was at the fight when Benavidez fought Caleb Plant, and I was already going in with the mindset of Benavidez,
Yeah,
but I ain't gonna lie, that fight right there made me even more of a Caleb Plant fan
yeah,
than anything, bro.
absolutely. Like I don't think Caleb get a
Yeah,
lot of credit that he definitely
he don't,
deserved. Like that
he
Darrell
don't.
victory was that Darrell victory. That was something special. That knockout, and that was definitely one of the knockouts of that
And
year.
that was after he had his first
Yeah,
loss
and I
versus
always tell people that,
Canelo.
and that Canelo stage is also different. That's my only thing with Benavidez. I would love to see how he handles that stage. But I tell people that stage is different. That Canelo environment, how many people, the Mexican fans, they come with a different energy.
But shit, Benavidez already got his own stage, fam. Shit, ever since Caleb Plant.
Yeah. Nah, you right
He,
about that. That definitely prepares him for that stage for sure. Man,
you
all in
know, he
due
already
time.
got. I give it about another year or two.
Man, the sky. I
I give it
always tell
about
people,
another
man,
year.
anytime we have a conversation, I always tell them, man, the sky's the limit for Boots. Like and the thing about them, they're not in no rush. It's like a lot of people who always, speak of a rush. Man, they doing this on their own pace. They got their own plan. And nothing's rushed from them. Like you said, everything's working the way that Bosey's pretty much planned it out.
All bullshit aside, you see Boots being the greatest of all time.
Absolutely. Like from seeing his work ethic, and I always tell people that's subjective, but when you see that kid's work ethic, like he said, I haven't been around, Floyd Mayweather, but I've always heard the stories. But I would say it reminds me of Floyd Mayweather-esque, or like people talk about Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality. You don't have to ever worry about, is that kid at the gym, is he going running? Like he's already doing it. Nobody has to call him, nobody gotta wake him up for that. Nobody gotta get on him, yo, Boot, you supposed to be doing this. That's like I said, and that's handed down from Bosey, so that's something that's just that kid's work ethic is second to none. I've never seen something like it. We watched Ocho Cinco come up to Philly for about a month. He was about a month up there, and Ocho was like, "Yo, it's worked out crazy. Like I ain't never." That's an NFL legend, NFL Hall of Fame, and he said like the workout is crazy. Like, yeah, man, that kid's work ethic is unbelievable.
I would say so, just based off of what we see in the ring. The short 20-second clips that we see, it almost seems like this is like, his first language.
Yeah, it
Boxing.
really is. Like, and
The,
yeah, the slow mo. I was there and didn't. I heard people saying something about slow mo, but like you said, it didn't register. He doesn't tell nobody in the locker room before the fight, "Yo, I'm going to do this trick. I'm going to." He even says it to himself just when we ask him, like, "Yo, I didn't even know I did it. I didn't even know what was happening. It just happened." And he's a showman. That's another thing too. He comes from that old school of, he wants to put on a show for the fans. That's one thing about the kid. He wants to entertain the fans. So like people talking about all these big fights, or he's not. He wants these big moments. Like that's what I say. If he gets a Terence Crawford moment, you're gonna see a different Jerome Boots Ennis. You're gonna see a kid
no,
that's like think about Allen Iverson when he got his first time against Jordan. You want to elevate to those that you go, man. The world looks at them as great. That's the only way you can show them. Look, I am just as great, if not better, is when you get those moments. It's like you have a little brother and you and your little brother fight. You don't want to beat up your little brother because it's not really proving nothing. But you got somebody that the whole neighborhood like, yo, that's Debo. That's Debo. That's Debo. Everybody in the neighborhood scared of him. When you got that dog in you and what you prepared and what you've been raised as, you ready to take Debo head on. No fear, no nothing.
who is the hottest prospect in the game right now to you?
Abdulamees,
I agree.
that kid is special.
I agree. He remind me of Boots a little bit.
And then seeing them in the ring, see, yo, I didn't realize Abdullah, was that. I didn't know he was that big. Like I didn't know his stature was like that. That kid, and to be as young as he is, yo, his ceiling. I don't even know if he has a ceiling. Like but it's a lot of guys. I like him. I like Carmel Moten. I love Ishmael Muhammad, the chef. That's Boost Promotions fighter. Ish is. I always tell people watch for Ish. Ish is gonna be one of those ones for sure. Ish is that kid. Talent is through the roof. He's been with Boots since like they've been locked in like this since childhood. So it's like he's right there getting the same work ethic, getting that same work. He's gonna be special. He doesn't have the same light maybe as a Carmel and Abdullah yet, but Ish is he definitely gonna be one of the ones I tell people to look out for sure.
Yeah. And hopefully we can get him on here because we definitely try to promote the prospects
Man,
and give them
we love to try
a
to
stage to be able to, you know what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of boxing outlets out there right now. And I think this is a good space for, the boxing community because a lot of the outlets pretty much like breaking news.
yeah. They only
You know
talk
what I'm
about
saying?
they only talk about the hottest names or a lot of people aren't necessarily breaking the next challenge. Like, I would love to see a lot more Abdullah Mesa interviews. He said you can learn more about these fighters. That's another thing is like the fans
Yeah.
want to be
Well, I'm
invested in the
saying,
fighters.
yeah, fam, they could come here and be able to let loose, fam. I don't give a fuck.
I'm not just a lot of fans, like especially with pay-per-views, they don't want to give their 60, 70, $80 of hard-earned money. Somebody they have no idea nothing about him. I don't know his favorite color. I don't know nothing. I don't know where he's from. I don't know nothing about him. So I always say, man, it's great for the fans to be able to get to experience these guys and realize they're more than just the guy that you see punching in the
They
gym.
more than just boxers, bro.
A lot of them, some of them funny. A lot of them, they do music. They other sports. Like it's so much beyond these guys. And I always say that's kind of how I got into my role because I was like, yo, these guys are so special and they're the 1% of the shape they're in. They're in that 1% of the type of athletes that these guys. I'm like, I mean, we all know many people that cut 30, 40 pounds, 20 pounds as quickly as they do and stay as disciplined as they do. I'm like, hey, that discipline. That's number one thing I think I love of the sport of boxing is the discipline it teaches. A lot of those guys don't get in trouble. You realize in boxing, a lot of them guys in the boxing gyms aren't in trouble. You know, it's a discipline that's taught to stay in shape. It's a discipline of all the guys not smoking. They don't drink. You know, it's a lot of discipline that the world really, needs.
I give all them fighters they flowers when it comes to discipline. But when if we talking Philly and we talking somebody that's been disciplined, I'm gonna get at the B-Hop.
To fight as many years as he did, at the age he did, at the
I'm
level.
2024. I'm talking about 2024, 2025. He is still, he could probably get in the ring. You talking about expeditions. And you want to talk about somebody who probably has a funny ass character, fam, that goes unnoticed. I would say B-Hop also. If you go back and watch that fight, what he did with Roy Jones, and remember when them niggas kept hitting each other behind the head and shit, and
man, that's a legendary fight.
And then right after B-Hop come out swinging, going crazy, I'm like, bro, these old heads.
Those are two of the greats, man. You never really get another B-Hop or Roy Jones except, and that's Boots' favorite fighter is Roy Jones. I always tell people that was who Boots looked up to, like outside like his pops, his brothers. It was really Roy. Like Roy was one of the ones. Like Roy, Roy, a lot of us love Roy growing up. Roy had the athleticism that was second to none. Roy was the cool. We love Roy just growing up as young boys looking at Roy Jones. So it's always like you said, it's those older guys who lay the blueprint, lay the footprints down before, so you to get the new guys in the next generation. So like I said, Boots is trying to do that for the guys in the future just coming after him.
Yo, boxing is very interesting, bro, especially now, I guess, for our era or generation, what you want to call it. Ryan Garcia, he out of there. Despite what everybody want to say about him, he out of there. He lost. He quit.
I don't condone none of the steroids. Like I said, man,
No. None of
them guys, you risking your life, man. That ain't something to play with,
It ain't. Not at all. And I was about to say, when it comes to Devin Haney, and I want to speak about this unbiasedly. We did see him touch the canvas. Sadly,
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I was hurt.
Man, it always hurt, especially we see one of us, like you said. Well, because we don't really see us. We don't really see us that often, in that space like that. So when we do with our fighters, it's definitely tough. I don't like seeing it, but I understand that's what they signed up for.
My first reaction was, man, that nigga slipped.
Oh yeah, man. Look, we find anything we can. Like I'm never mad at it. Like you said, I be sitting there hoping, like, yeah, it was a slip, man. It was a slip. Like you said, you hoping that announcer gonna vouch for you too that it was a slip. But
yeah,
that fight is one of those fights I wish we could unsee, because like you said, for people, and we're in the era of trolls, so people like to get the jokes off. So I'm like, like I said, once again, with tough skin, you gotta have. I'm sure Devin is dad, got tough skin because, like you said, that's a tough fight. Like you said, I can only imagine. Like you said, hearing the results after the fight and stuff like that, I can only imagine what they've been mentally.
Bro, if I was Devin, bro, I'd say fuck them. They didn't give Ryan Garcia none of this type of trolling energy.
Yeah.
That nigga quit.
Yeah, I mean
he quit right at the 12 count.
That's like you said, you hit that on the head right there. A lot of people don't talk about. They give more credit to somebody who quit and didn't finish the fight versus somebody who was willing to get up off the canvas, whether it was steroid or not. And I said the fact that proven was steroid in your system, that shows it's a fighter right there. He was willing to get up every time. Like, he ain't quit.
The nigga, he didn't get knocked out. He got up every motherfucking time, despite what anybody want to say. It's an asterisk by Ryan Garcia's victory. It's an asterisk.
I even give Spence that credit, because I'm like, yo, Spence went out on his shield like that. Like, they had to stop that. Like, I always like, when the fighters talk about going out on their shield, so it's like, I'm not a big fan of, like I said, if I understand the body shots is different, but you can't go out here trolling and talking about these other fighters like this. Like you said, you ain't even make it halfway through the fight before you just, you said you called it quits.
I love Bro, I love that nigga Earl Spence, fam. Just
It's a
like
dog.
just like when I tell a plant, bro, I'm gonna say the same thing about Earl Spence. Earl Spence, he wasn't running. He was standing right there. He was still
Man,
coming at him.
that was the pound for pound. Like that, like somebody got to lose. So like you said, he stood in there. He didn't run. Like you said, he ain't quit. I got nothing but respect. Taking my hats off to Earl Spence, man. It's like it's boxing, man.
All right. Hey, who you think can give Boots his toughest fight?
Toughest. Like I said, outside of the Crawford fight, I would say, I'm thinking it will have to be at the higher weight classes, honestly. I'm thinking, at once he hit maybe 54, 60, he even talks about potentially going to 68. I think it's going to have to be somebody, down the line in those bigger weight classes. I think he's going to be, a lot better as well as he gets bigger in those bigger weight classes. But I'm not even sure if we know that fight at the moment in time.
I can feel it. You know who I've always thought, because I'm always thinking boxing, bro.
Yeah.
Like my fantasy fight, I would want to see Boots, and I would want to see Boots and what's buddy name from Australia? What's his name?
Tim Tszyu.
Tim Tszyu.
Yeah.
Tim Tszyu.
I like Tim. I think if Tim Tszyu didn't have that headbutt situation, I was favoring him in that Fundora fight. Yeah, he was, because he was looking great in the beginning of that fight.
To get him up out of there.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, I wasn't even paying attention to Tim Tszyu until I went back and saw how he put a whooping on what's buddy name that beat up on Pacquiao.
I know what you're talking about.
He from Australia too.
I cannot think of his name. It's
Benjamin.
Oh man.
I know you. Everybody, y'all know who I'm talking about. The viewers, bro. He was putting a whooping on and I say whooping because he was having them hike their leg.
Tim Tszyu is a dog. He know what the kitchen
then when
say.
he came back and he beat Tony Harrison the way he did, and that broke my heart too. But I give him all the credit. Bro, the way he did Tony Harrison, fam, I was like, no, bro, somebody got to come and beat him. We got to get revenge back for that. But I take my hat off to Tim Tszyu. I definitely respect what he doing, cause bro, he's not.
I would love to see Tim Tszyu versus Virgil Ortiz. That's one of those fights I would have definitely loved to see. Like Tim Tszyu versus Virgil Ortiz.
I think Tim Tszyu gonna get him up out of there too.
I'm favoring Tim Tszyu as well, but I think that's definitely gonna be one of those phone booth fights. Ain't nobody dancing in that fight. Ain't nobody, bouncing around on their toes. I think them two gonna be right there in the phone booth exchanging.
And bro, when I say I fuck with these fighters, bro, like I'm boxing, bro. Like I love boxing. I say that because Virgil has been going through a lot.
Yeah, the hell.
And he just came back. And he maybe got a little bit of ring rust. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of fighters,
they counted 2 knockdowns. So for him to come back, have a performance like that, and wasn't bad, he won. But we talking like Tim Tszyu and T Crawford, like, yeah, bro, I think they're going to like get him up out of there. Tim Tszyu has been very active, very sharp, and he's getting them up out of there, fam.
Fundora, good fight. He gets hit a lot. Like it's a big target, so and I don't think he don't fully use his reach. I couldn't fully understand it, but that's just his style of fighting. Yeah, that tall with that insane of a reach, and he like exchanging in the phone booth. So it's a fan friendly fight, but like you said, I'm always wondering, like with Fundora, how much of a beating can he take? Because even when he had Fort Lubin and stuff, it's like Fundora like to get in those brawls. He like to trade with you.
Yeah, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. Shout out to all the boxers out there that be getting in the ring. Just it's all love over here on this channel.
I'm a fan. Look, we fans of the sports. I'm
a fan of the sport, but Canelo needs to stop that bullshit though, fam. I will say that, fam. He's supposed to be the face of boxing.
Yeah, man. We definitely want to see if I
Floyd
can.
ain't do that though.
Yeah, Floyd. Hey, look,
Floyd ain't do that.
Floyd gave Canelo that fight. You're absolutely right. So I would love to see Canelo versus David
Yeah, he
Benavidez.
got that,
We
and
need
Floyd
that
thought fast.
2025. We 2025. We need the fans. Like you said, we've been calling for it, but like somehow we got to get that fight 2025. I can't see that fight not happening. If we don't get David Benavidez versus Canelo, like Bud Canelo, we never mad at that. Like you said, fight somebody that we deem as the pound for pound. If you want the top pound for pound fighters.
For sure. For sure. For sure. Man, before we get up out of here, I gotta ask you, man, give me your top 5 out of Philly all time.
Top 5 out of Philly all time.
Now and in the past.
Man, oh man,
Now and
that
in the
is
past.
that's a tough one because I don't want to leave nobody out. That's a tough one, man. You got
Okay, look. Leave Boots out. Leave
leave
Boots out because
Boots
he's
out
still
because
leave
his
Boots
story's
out.
still being written. His story's still
Yeah,
being
yeah.
written.
Let's leave Boots out.
Man, of course you got Joe Frazier. You
Right?
got B Hop, like you said. It's, man, 'cause I want to. Is it cool to throw Danny in there? I know Danny's still an active fighter, but I think just Danny's
I would
accomplishments.
say Danny.
I think Danny's accomplishments allow for anybody to throw Danny in that conversation.
I would say Danny.
And see, it gets hard because also a lot of times I be wanting to mention guys. I love Julian Williams. I think that was J Rock, like Tevin Farmer, like a lot of maybe we can call them honorable mentions, but those are two fighters. I'm just a big fan of their fighting style and those two fighters in general. I've been watching for a long time. But like you said, Philly, man, Philly has a lot. I don't even want to leave no names out for real, for real. So I don't even, it ain't no 1 through 5, but I think Philly just has a lot of great fighters, like you said, from the old to the new
Bro,
generation.
my bad.
Good.
I said Philly, but we gotta show love to DC too.
Oh man, DC man.
And we got
I want to
and we
give
got it.
a big shout out to Anthony Peterson and Lamont Peterson, the Peterson brothers, man. Like
Yes, sir.
what they meant for DC boxing and just kind of the torch they held.
The DMV period.
Yeah, they held a torch for a time that they said, man, them brothers meant a lot for the area for sure, man. Everybody knows Sugar Ray.
Right now, still active.
Yeah, man, Jaleel Hackett, man. Jaleel Hackett is one of the top young guys coming up at 147. Jaleel Hackett was signing to Mayweather Promotions. Good friends with. We all know Javante Davis out Baltimore. You Tank, man. That's Mr. Nightqueer always tell people, man. He gonna put you to sleep, man. Don't blink.
He an anomaly, fam. When we talk about, you see, I have not brought up Tank not one time in
Oh
this
man,
interview.
look. If you're not a fan of Tank, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's one of the most exciting fighters I've ever watched. I think of any generation.
You see, I don't even
put him
bring
in any generation of boxing. He's an exciting fighter.
But you want to know something though, fam? Like, I want to see him fight one of them brothers out of DC. Two of them niggas that
man,
I'm talking.
the Russells. I mean, like it's a lot. DC. We got it's a lot. Gary Russell.
That would be, bro. Tank versus one of them brothers, fam. Like out of DC, that fight will be lit.
It would be incredible. I don't personally see that fight happening. I know it's a lot of ties behind the scenes. We've been in close proximity area. I don't see that fight happening, but I would love for it. I would love for that fight. I'm right there front row for that fight. I'm tuned in. Man, another brother I give props to out of DC, Lamont Roach Jr., champion at 130. Beat Hector Garcia his last fight. Lamont, man, he's doing this thing. Like the sky's the limit for Lamont as well.
Yeah, bro. The tri-state area got a lot of great talent out there, and the reason why I say tri-state is because I got to shout out Jersey as well.
Absolutely.
They got Shakur Stevenson.
And
I can't think East Coast boxing without thinking him too.
Yeah, Shakur special. Like you said, I know you're getting a lot of backlash at the moment, but Shakur special. And I mean, like I said, it happens when you have those bumps in your career of, every fight's not pretty. Every fight's not fan friendly. But to say that Shakur's not one of the most talented boxers in the sport of boxing right now is a complete lie. The man's talented.
I think he should embrace the backlash, bro. Shit, as long as he got that dub, I think he should embrace it. Surprisingly, people that claim to know boxing they gave Boots a lot of backlash after when he fought on that Tank undercard.
It's
And I was
expected.
like, oh, the nigga was running the whole fight, bro.
Man,
Like, what the fuck you want a nigga to do?
It's one thing to have constructive criticism, but then, like you said, it's some fans who, they just give opinions that aren't very educated in the sport. And like you said, a win is a win. 12-0 someone, like you said, of course, there's always things you're going to prove on, but that's not one of them fights you about to go back to the drawing board with the team. Like, man, I stunk it up in there. Like, a 12-0 performance, you're going to take that in your paycheck and go home happy, smiling. Your face, no scars on your face, no, like, because then if a fighter get hit too much, like when he fought David Avenesian, all Boots got hit too much. So which one is it? Is it, I hit the guy and he's moving around, he don't want to engage, or when I stand in the pocket and trade with you, like when Boots knocked down Avenesian, he took a punch to give a punch. I'm like, hey, so what fan are you? Like, a lot of people complain.
But they say the same shit about Tank though.
I'm like, but if they're getting these fighters out of there, and these are professional fighters, they're going to get hit. Somebody showed me a fight where an opponent did not get hit. I pay $1,000. You can show me a fight where an opponent did not get touched not once. I pay $1,000. Anybody in the comments section show me a fight where nobody ever got touched ever.
Hey, this the last tip. This the last tip on Boots, cause I don't want to hold you too long, but
that's been a great convo, man. I appreciate
the boxing world right now, bro. The most recent news when it comes to his next fight, the brother from Atlanta, him and his pops, they say they want that smoke. I watched the whole thing with Mill City.
Shout out Mill City.
And Zab. And they was and Buddy was like, fuck that. You gonna have to come show me. And I love that shit, bro. I love that shit.
Yeah.
That right there.
I love
You know what I'm saying? Is what made people want to go pay for the fight and go actually watch the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, because he about to come fight the boogeyman.
I'll give it. Sanya is definitely selling the fight. Like I said, we never mad at them. Man, showmanship is a part of the game. They said, God willing, that fight comes to fruition, this year. Like you said, they both have, alternative fights possibly brewing if that fight isn't made. But, the fans calling for the demand is there. You said Twitter, YouTube communities have been going crazy about it for the last 2 weeks. So, we hope the promoters and the two parties can come together and make that fight, happen for the fans. It'll be an exciting fight. Like you said, y'all already know who we going with, Team Minutes all the way. Those guys know each other with experience. So, like I said, we'll just say we very confident over here. And it's
for sure.
Boots and don't do no talking either. So, tell people, you come from the old school, you get down, get down and lay down. We don't really do too much talking.
Yeah, bro. We gonna be tuned in, man. We hope to see you back on here, bro. We talk more boxing.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, Nilo, appreciate you, brother. For real.
Giselle, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. We look like the podcast, man. We making it look easy. Like, this man. I love the conversation, man. Always good to talk boxing. We're educated boxing minds.
Yeah, for sure. Unbiased too.
Look, absolutely, man. This was a great conversation, man. I look forward to having multiple more with you.
Yeah. Hold on, let me tag this shit real quick. Hey, if you enjoyed this conversation, please hit the like and subscribe button, and make sure you go follow my man Nilo. Nilo, where can they find you at, bro?
Oh man, so you can find me on social media at Nilo Wright, NILWRIGHT Nilo Wright PR on social media.
Thanks for correcting me, bro. For sure. Yep. Hey, catch y'all on another one, man. Appreciate y'all for joining in.
Appreciate y'all.
Peace.